Cringe Music Podcast, Season 4, Episode 4. Some okay stuff this week, I will say. Let me pull up the list. Alright, we got The Reverses by Terra, Tenebrosa, Melt My Eyes, See Your Future by Denzel Curry, and People Who Can Eat People Are the Luckiest People in the World by AJJ. So, Season 1, I talked about Terra Tenebrosa's album, The Purging, I want to say. Let me double check that. I gotta look. Yeah, talked about The Purging. Really like that album a lot, just because of like how kind of like disturbing and like genuinely creepy it was. Nothing is really known about the guys in this band, other than that they were in another project before this whose name I forgot. And they aren't really active on social media. They haven't posted anything since their album The Reverses, which is their latest album that came out in 2016. Since that album came out, they've been dead silent. Haven't heard a goddamn thing. And honestly, these guys are kind of an anomaly. I don't remember how I found them, and just their whole aesthetic is just unsettling, to say the least. But this album, The Reverses, is kind of more the same as from what I remember from The Purging, when we talked about that before. Very unsettling. The vocals are sometimes incomprehensible. It just devolves into just animalistic, undescribable noises, I'll say. It's very unique. I can't think of anything else that sounds like this at all. Like, nothing comes to mind. Highlights from this are definitely The End Is Mine to Ride and Ghost at the End of the Rope. But I think this whole thing is really good. This band is an experience. The two albums that I've heard, 2 out of 3 albums of theirs that I've heard have been interesting. Really, really into it. It's an experience. If you haven't heard this, you need to experience this for yourself, because I honestly can't describe this. Anything I could say would not do this justice. It is very unique within metal. And like I said, don't remember how I found these guys, and they've been radio silent since this album came out. So good album.
Yeah, if I had to figure out one word or 2 words to describe this, it would be brutal and atmospheric. I don't really know how else to describe it. It's like Dimmu Borgir and Nox Arcana had a child. I'm surprised I like this because I didn't like the first album you picked. I think I told you all that before, but outside of that, solid album. It's interesting. There's definitely nothing else like this within the genre at all, and outside of this genre. It's very hard to find stuff of this nature. The closest thing I could say is if you took, like I said, Nox Arcana, which is like a gothic atmospheric orchestral group, and mashed them with Dimmu Borgir. It's weird, but I like it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was funny when I was listening to the opening track, I kept looking at my phone because I swear to God, at some point, like towards the end, it sounded exactly like Nazi zombies, like they're fucking growling, and I was like, am I listening to the right fucking thing? It was very interesting. I would definitely call it very dark. You could probably call it disturbing, I guess, if that. I do agree with the atmospheric. This is a very interesting band. I don't even know what to say about if you could even say a genre, because I mean kind of black metal, but more than black metal.
It's like we went even further beyond.
Exactly. Metal.
Yes, blackened black metal. There you go. I enjoyed it.
Put a little pepper on that bitch, you got blackened metal.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. We'll probably listen to it again.
Cool, cool. Uh, so moving on, Denzel Curry's new album. I want to hear your thoughts on this because I enjoy this album a lot.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah. Before listening to this album, I hadn't really listened to like albums by Denzel Curry. I've usually just listened to like his singles.
Mm.
But I heard I think Zatoichi off of this album like first, and I was like enamored by it. I was like, okay, I have to listen to the whole fucking album now. And just from the beginning, I was like, now I'm mad at myself for not listening to all of his fucking albums. Um, because he hits this lyrical expertise with like kind of I don't know if I want to say chill, but kind of a very melodic like beats and production to it. I love his sampling in just about every single one of these songs. If he does his own producing or whoever helps him, good God, they're fucking good. Um, but not just that, I mean, what else can you say about Denzel fucking Curry other than the fact that, I mean, his lyricism is really fucking good. His flow is really fucking good. Um, yeah, I love this album, and I'm gonna go back and listen to his everything else.
Alrighty. So my first exposure to Denzel was his, I guess you could say, not the last album, if you could call Unlocked an album. I guess that was kind of more like a detour. Unlocked being the project that he did with producer Kenny Beats, also really really fucking good. But Taboo, his last major release, was my first exposure to him, and that was a bit more aggressive and a little bit darker in some bits. Um, I remember hearing in interviews for this album, he was talking about how a lot of the themes of this album are him growing as a person, and you can definitely pick that up with some songs for sure. He wanted to move away from the more dark, aggressive stuff because he wasn't in that headspace anymore.
Mhm.
Oh, I completely forgot about Zoo. He did so. Zoo was after Taboo, but before this. Completely forgot about Zoo. Unbelievable. Um, but yeah, this album fucking incredible, start to finish. The way it starts out with Melt Session 1, just kind of being really chill with the kind of vocals in the background. Second track, Walkin', is really cool. There's the beat switch that happens kind of in the second half that is so good. Um, I just John Wayne, that entire song. The entire fucking thing, dude. I think my only gripes with the album is maybe like the last three songs, maybe. But I went back and listened to some of those songs, and Zatoichi has definitely grown on me a little bit. The Ills has grown on me. Um, just front to back, this thing's really fucking good. I think
Yeah.
I think my all-time favorite songs on this are probably John Wayne, The Last, and X-Wing. Funny thing about X-Wing, the interview he did with Fantano, I think, he was talking about like the main, if you want to say chorus for this, how it's a little mumble rappy esque. He tried doing it like enunciating the words and kind of doing like standard flow, whatever you want to say, and just it didn't fit. So that's why that song is the way it is, I guess. But I got to see him do this entire album live a while back, and that was an experience. Was not expecting him to do that at all. It just kind of happened, and is great. Good album, really solid. Denzel again proves that anything he puts out is incredible.
Oh yeah, dude. Like this album's straight gas. Like I couldn't find a single thing wrong with it the entire time I was listening to it. And like you said, Walken's probably one of my favorites. Another good one off of this is Worst Comes to Worst. I like
Mm.
John Wayne, The Last. Like all of them are really good.
He got
Um,
fucking T-Pain.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. A lot of this shit's just like solid. I
Mhm.
mean, there's not really another way to put it.
Mhm.
Alrighty, Steven. Explain yourself.
I wanted to pick something weird and different that I wasn't sure if y'all would like, hate, be somewhere in the middle. I was pretty sure Mike wouldn't like this album, just because of the vocals on it. He's got a very, I don't know how to describe it other than squeaky and scratchy, which are two very different things, but somehow are very accurate descriptions of his vocals. It's a very, very, very political band, like to the level of Rage Against the Machine and then some. The dude is a very, very outspoken socialist, like to the levels of what's that streamer's name?
Hassan, yeah.
Hassan, yeah, like to his level.
Ah.
But I more like some of the messages in these songs as opposed to the actual songs themselves. Objectively, I don't really care for this as far as musical elements go, but as far as lyrical elements, I like this a lot. Pretty much all the songs off this album have some meaning to them, but I don't think any of them are like super noteworthy. They're all kind of like blending together as a big political message, which a lot of people might not get into, but I like some of the music that has or that portrays some of the musicians' political views and stuff like that. It's part of the reason I like Rage Against the Machine so much. I think it's really unique when they bring their own take on a political aspect to the musical world. And I know we don't normally talk about politics and try to avoid it, but I kind of ran out of options, and last second I was like, oh, I've never talked about HAJ before. So I'm curious to hear what y'all have to say about it.
I'm gonna be real with you. This is just Neutral Milk Hotel, but faster. So we talked about Neutral Milk Hotels in the Aeroplane Over the Sea. This very much just sounds like that, but faster. So yeah, basically take that style of folk music, but try to incorporate punk elements to it. If you're gonna try to do punk, just do punk. It seems weird to have like a subgenre of folk that is trying to do that to me. I don't know. Initial listen to this, I hated this. I thought this was dumb. But the more I listened to it, I did kind of see how this reminded me of, like I said, Neutral Milk Hotel a little bit. The vocalist does kind of sound like Jeff Mangum a little bit. It's okay. It's not really my thing. I don't know what it is. Going back to Neutral Milk Hotel, I don't know what it is about them and that album specifically that I like. But that's literally the only thing that sounds like this that I like, and this is just okay. It's again not really for me. But initial listen, wasn't into it. The more I listen to it, it's like, it's okay, it's fine. If I wanted to listen to punk, I just listen to punk. But if you want this for some reason, it exists.
I figured that would be your reaction.
So I actually rather enjoyed this. I definitely think that the punk part of it, I can kind of feel that in his lyrics, but the way this dude sounds, I can only think of Midwest emo if it was put into punk and put into folk. That's all I fucking hear is Midwest emo, which isn't a bad thing. I fucking love Midwest emo. I swear to God, I've heard this guy's voice somewhere before because it seems so recognizable.
You probably have, because he is very prolific, because like I said, all of his music involves some form of political take on something. I don't think he's ever released a song that hasn't been political.
I mean, I like folk. More specifically, I prefer more towards the faster folk genres, so Celtic folk, folk punk. But this is I still like this. I don't know what else to say about it, really. I mean, it has a very... I guess you are right that it does kind of start to blend together, because a lot of the like folk elements is just kind of sped up. They're all just kind of like a song that I hear, and it sounds like they just kind of sped it up, which isn't a bad thing. But I can see how it kind of blends together eventually. But still really good. I did enjoy the political messages. I I like. I guess I can say that I agree for the most. I agree. I go down that lane of their thought style, so like I'm okay with it. But also just listening, like at certain points, I would like zone out, but then I would come like I would refocus when I heard some fucking lyric that I'm like, did he just the fuck did he just say? Um, bad things was very interesting just as a fucking listen.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I think Brave as a Noun and Bad Things were probably my two favorite off this album. It was
Brave
good.
as a Noun is really, really good.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna just find what else this guy, the lead singer, has done because I swear to God I've heard him somewhere, and it's gonna fuck with me till I don't.
Just be warned, some of his albums are a little more extreme than others. Some of the viewpoints might make you turn your head and go, what
I'm
did Steven just recommend to me? But overall, I like most of his views. I agree with most of them. It's the same reason I like Rage so much.
yeah, I also like them. So
Alrighty. Well, that's all y'all got.
Yeah.
I got to talk about a concert I went to last night. I got to see
Mm.
Kendrick Lamar. Holy
Nice.
shit! I'm wearing the shirt. Big Steppers tour. So the openers for this, I don't remember the first guy, but he's on the new album. So I'm sure if I look at the track list, it may tell me. It does not. All right. I want to say Terra Leone, maybe. Hold on. I don't want to get this guy's name wrong, so I'm gonna look it up. But Baby Keem was the other opener. Who the fuck was the other guy? Something Leone. Something Leone. Where's the discography with the track list that'll tell me? Yeah, Tana Leone. There we go. So Tana Leone and Baby Keem were the openers for this. I've only heard of Baby Keem by name, hadn't heard of the other guy, and I haven't really listened to the new album much at all. I was kind of going into it not really expecting to care for what they were doing because that's kind of a trend I've noticed with rap shows that I've gone to. I haven't really cared for the openers, but I'll say that they were all right. They weren't bad. Kendrick though, that was. So remember when I was talking about when I saw Pussifer and comparing like Tool and A Perfect Circle, how Tool is an experience and Pussifer's a show. This was a show. So he had this square curtain thing dropped over the stage being separated into like a big main portion in the back and then kind of a runway that is split into two sections. So in the back you have this big square curtain that is covering the stage. A bunch of people walk up onto the runway wearing like suits and stuff as they're doing the intro. I want to say it was like the interlude for Savior off the new album or something. I don't remember the track list exactly. I can pull that up. But at some point they raise the curtain and then four of the kind of people in suits kind of get on the bed and some lights come on and it reveals Kendrick sitting at a piano with a puppet replica of himself sitting on the top. He finishes what he's doing on piano, gets up, walks over to the catwalk, and goes into the next song and has the puppet rapping the verses, trying to do like a ventriloquist thing, basically. So that's how the show started, which was interesting. I can't really remember everything off the top of my head, so I'll just kind of do my best to go over some highlights. There were points of the show where he would not do the entire song. So, like, let me pull up the set list here. That's what I was doing. Here we go. Someone already posted it. Nice. So he would do Loyalty, Swimming Pools, and Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. The remix of Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. But not the whole song. He would just kind of do the chorus. And at the end, he'd just say stop, and then it would cut to the next song, and the same deal, just kind of do the chorus, which was a little weird, but okay, whatever. there was a point where he did, I guess, just kind of the intro bit of Lust off of Damn, and a bed rose out from the middle of the floor. He walks over to the bed, just kind of lays down, and then the bed just goes back into the floor. And that was that.
Oh my god.
There was, so I guess the show was supposed to have some kind of concept or some kind of narrative going on, because there was a narrator at the very beginning that addressed Kendrick as Mr. Morale and would occasionally pop in and say something like, "Oh, you're letting your ego get to you," or something, or "You've forgotten who you were because you've been gone for so long," something to that effect. But it was so fucking funny. There was a moment where she comes over the thing and is like, "All right, Mr. Morale, it's time for you to take a COVID test. It's for your own good." And then this square plastic thing comes down and traps Kendrick in it, and he's trapped in there with these like 4 dudes in hazmat suits, and then he just goes into doing all right. And then eventually, the hazmat suit guys fuck off. The platform that he's entrapped in with this plastic thing raises into the air, and then the cover goes up, and then what did he do after that? A couple of songs off the new album. So he's just in the air doing songs on this platform.
Jesus.
But it was lots of back dancers, theatrics, weird narrative things that I didn't really catch going on, but overall it was a really interesting show. It was really fucking good. I think he's still got quite a few dates on this left, so if he's coming near you and you haven't seen him, highly recommend.
Do you know if he's coming to New Orleans at all?
I can actually check.
Might be worth someone to look.
I will say seats are a little expensive though. I think I paid $100 and I was all the way up in the nosebleeds. If you want to be like down in the floor, it's like $300. It's dumb.
That shit.
Yeah.
Kendrick, he's kind of the biggest rapper alive right now, so
He is, but I've seen other artists like that. I've seen other artists rapping and otherwise that charge that much. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm not paying $300 to see you for an hour.
His show must have been like 2 hours though.
Yeah,
It was long.
Yeah, I mean, that's good.
He is going to New Orleans, but tickets sold out, and that was last month. So you missed it.
Oh well.
Oh really? Salt Lake sold out? No, it must have sold out day of, because I got my tickets like 2 days before, but it did look like it was going to sell out. Goddamn, almost all of the dates so far have sold out. So it looks like he's just doing West Coast. He's finished up with East Coast stuff. So
Damn. That's lame.
damn indeed. But I've got a couple of videos that I took that I'll post in the podcast chat at some point, so you can see what I was talking about. But yeah, that's all I've got to talk about. Let me look at my calendar really fast because I think I have another concert coming up soon. Gorillaz next month. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, you're going to see Gorillaz?
Yeah.
Gorillaz is fucking neat live.
I
Have
bet.
you ever seen anything from their live shows?
I've seen like bits and pieces.
So years ago, they actually released a special edition DVD that you could buy, and it was one of their live tours. But my older brother bought it for me as birthday present. It was exorbitantly expensive. It was like $120, but it's all holographic projection.
Oh, I think I've seen the YouTube video of that.
Yeah.
Is it the Demon Days live DVD?
Yeah, it's the Demon Days live DVD.
All right. Yeah, I thought so.
Dude, it's fucking nuts. And I really want to go see them live, but their concerts are always super expensive and they always sell out like stupid fast.
Yeah. I was actually looking at getting like floor tickets for this show. I'll have to. Those are definitely still probably up, but they're expensive.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
But I definitely want to try to at least get like decent seats for this.
If you only get decent seats for like 2 concerts this year, this would be one of them I recommend. Like it's crazy good.
I will actually pull up Ticketmaster right now and see what seats are left and how much they are.
Cause like, oh dude, it's so fucking cool. I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's the Demon Days live tour, they did live holographic projection and they used the same technology that they use in Japan for Hatsune Miku. And it
Oh,
was fucking
um, hold on. Tickets for this are like cheap. They're cheaper than the Kendrick ones. Holy shit!
how much are they?
So if I want to be down on the floor, it's $130, but that's before Ticketmaster fees. That's definitely way cheaper than it was for Kendrick.
It is. Oh yeah.
That's also way cheaper than it used to be.
Yeah.
It's $55 before fees to get like where I was sitting last night. Whereas I paid $100 for that seat. So
I think when me and my brother looked at tickets for the Demon Days live tour, they were like 250 something.
but when I was buying tickets, so the arena where this is, Vivint, where the Utah Jazz play, I had never been in there before, so I had no idea what my seats were going to look like. But now that I have some idea, I can pick out my tickets more. So if I were to be like directly at the front, not on the stage, but the like closest row of seats you can get, it is it's like $200. What the fuck?
Yeah, see, that's where Michael and I were looking, and they were extremely expensive when we looked. Light years out of our budget at the time, because I was like, I think I've talked about it before on the podcast, but like growing up, my mom has cerebral palsy, so we did not have a lot of money growing up, and we had even less as teenagers because my dad wasn't paying child support.
Yeah.
It was incredibly expensive for us back then, and there was no way we could afford it.
Yeah, the like front row seats are more expensive than the floor tickets.
Yeah, I think the only reason I got to go to all of the winter jams was probably because my family is friends with Corey Cooper and his wife.
What is this? Winter Jam?
Huh?
What is Winter Jam?
It's a big Christian concert that Skillet fronts every year. Corey Cooper is the lead singer for Skillet.
I do not into Skillet.
My family's pretty good friends with Corey.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's the only reason I ever got to go to Winter Jam or any concert, really. That's how I saw Red. That's how I went to. I've been to like 7 or 8 Winter Jams. But
Interesting.
yeah, I've talked to you about this before, Mike.
If you have, I forgot. I forgore.
You forgore.
I forgore.
I forgore.
Well, you guys got anything else?
I do not.
Alrighty, we pick
There's-
albums for next time then.
Yeah. There's been a bunch of fucking albums that came out that I'm tempted to fucking pick.
Alright, well, I'm going to continue picking albums by artists I talked about from season 1. I guess I can mention this really quickly. Last week I was trying to get into depressive suicidal black metal, so I fell down that rabbit hole, and there's some weird stuff in that subgenre.
The name says enough, my guy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
There's an album that I downloaded that is by... So there's a project called Silencer, and most of these projects are ran by one guy. And Silencer put out an album called Death Pierce Me. And supposedly, the guy that is behind this project checked himself into a mental hospital at some point, and then came out with another project called Diagnose Lebensgefahr, and put out an album called Transformalin, which is basically like it's not black metal. It's like just experimental, and I've listened to snippets of this, and I think I had you guys listen to DevLab by Devin Townsend. Imagine that, but like something is wrong here.
Okay, so we have two options for my pick. Would y'all prefer? I'm gonna give you the genres, and then if no one answers immediately, I will go into further detail about the bands I'm picking. So we have thrash metal,
Okay.
or we have funk.
Oh. I'm very interested in what you would pick for funk.
No, not funk, funk.
Oh,
Funk.
funk. Oh,
Funk.
I also would be interested in seeing that one too, because I also like funk.
Okay. So, for anyone watching the stream that doesn't know, funk is basically darker dubstep that came out of the car scene. But so I will save alien weaponry for next week then.
Alrighty.
Because that band is Maori thrash metal. All of their songs are sung in Maori. It's actually kind of cool.
That does sound cool.
It's very cool. So picking this artist purely depends on if he has a whole album or not.
That's the one thing I notice about funk is it's a lot of like singles or remixes, not a whole lot of albums.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. Because a lot of them are super talented and have a lot of really cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has one. Okay. Cool. We'll do Mup. We're gonna pick. Hold on, where'd the album go? Why am I autistic as shit? We're gonna pick Silence by Mup.
Okay.
Alright.
This album is like super short, so it's not a huge listen.
So
now, I gotta find the share button.
So I'm choosing either between a Japanese melodic death metal band or a deathcore hardcore band.
Japanese melodic death metal.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Listen to Bloodstained Child.
So, keeping with my trend of albums by artists I talked about from season 1, I've already talked about a Chelsea Wolfe album with Conley. We did Abyss before, but I talked about I think Love Is Pain in season 1. So we're gonna skip Chelsea Wolfe, and that leaves Young Lean. So in season 1, I talked about Unknown Memory. So I'm gonna pick Stranger this time.
Okay.
And I will copy that link. We do one of these. Oh, no, wrong thing. We do that. So I can do this, and then go here. Baba Booey.
Baba Booey.
What was your album again, Steven? I'll find the Spotify link for it.
Silence by Mupp. M-U-P-P.
2 P's. I found it. Okay, we got albums. We got albums picked. I got nothing else. Were you gonna say something?
Me picking this album means I'm gonna be talking about cars, so just be prepared for that.
Speaking of cars, I need to send you something.
Oh god.
I need to send you something.
If you have a car thing to send me, that means it's either really fucking stupid or really fucking cool.
It's really fucking stupid.
Oh god.
Okay.
So there's a subreddit called Just Rolled Into the Shop.
I love that one.
Oh yeah, I fucking love that. Did you send it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get out of the water.
There's like videos that I saw in here of like people that must have never gotten an oil change since they got their car. So they just open the thing and it's just this thick sludge that very slowly just kind of drips out, and it's like, bruh.
Oh no!
I've seen the video of them literally taking like the bottom of the oil pan off, and it's literally it's
Just a solid brick of jelly.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just solid jelly oil. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you want
How?
to know how that happens?
How? I do.
So one, your engine has to overheat. Two, so when you crack a head gasket, you know those head gasket sealants
Yeah.
that you pour into your radiator?
Yes.
So those only partially work. They work if you have small cracks in your head gasket, but obviously nothing like huge. But what those do is they're a microsilicate that's made of glass. And when it heats up, it hardens. So it'll fill in that gap and then it hardens. Now, what you're supposed to do is immediately after you run it through, drain your coolant. Because once it hardens, if you keep running it through there, it'll mix with your oil, pass through your seals, other stuff. So some of them form like this jelly substance. And when you mix it with oil, it turns oil into a solid.
the fuck?
I had a dude at work ask me to look at his car outside, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a look. So I came out, and I look at it, and I pull out the dipstick, and it's like chunky. I'm like, huh, that's not supposed to be like that. So just for shits and giggles, in the middle of the parking lot, I pull his oil plug. And have you ever seen like any slime animation where it just like oozes through the bottom of a door in a solid block?
Yeah.
Yep.
It literally came out, and I thought it was just thick. So what you're supposed to do is you flick your finger through the oil if it looks thick to see if there's any movement in it, shinies, whatever. Because, you know, that's how you tell if you have a spun bearing or something. So I hit it with my finger, and it jiggled.
Oh.
And I looked at Connor, and I'm like, Connor, I love you. You're not going to be able to drive this home. And he goes, why? I'm like, your oil has become jello. Someone you pissed off probably put silicate in your engine. But, like, fucked, dude. Like, beyond fucked.
That's fucking amazing.
Torqued to spec?
I was just looking at this video where this guy had quote unquote underglow in his tire well, and I literally used to have these. It's these battery powered lights that have like a light switch on them, and he just has these like stuck to the bottom of his tire well above the tire.
So he has wannabe rock lights.
Yeah, and those things aren't even very bright. They suck.
Yeah, they're awful. If you're gonna do it like that, just buy real rock lights. What the fuck is this PT Cruiser?
Oh no. It's PT Cruiser, that's what's wrong with it.
Oh my god, they literally just cut the cab in half and welded a limousine door between the two parts.
Can I send you an awful video?
Oh yeah. Oh, hold on, Mike. I have to send you something. I don't know if I sent it to you before or not. But so, you know, I've seen some pretty fucking redneck things down here. I've seen a Camaro that had been like a Z08 Camaro that had the whole body, like top panel cut off and welded to the frame of a Chevy Blazer. Stupidest thing I've ever seen. But recently, like last month, I think, I saw this. And if you don't know what's wrong with this picture, I'll explain, but you should.
Okay. The video I sent you is William Osmond. Basically, him and a bunch of his friends decided to see how much of a car they could take off and have it still be operational.
I think I've seen that.
Did you get that Snapchat I sent you, Mike?
That's not supposed to look like that.
So that is a Chevy Tahoe
Yeah.
that someone ripped the back axle of a dually off of, probably off of a Chevy Silverado, like a 2500 or something, and just put the axle on it and made custom fender flares for it. And let me tell you, I've seen some redneck shit, but that's some redneck shit.
Ugh.
But that's all I got.
Yeah. We're going off on a tangent about cars. That can be another podcast someday. I don't know. I don't know.
Starting eventually.
I don't know shit about cars.
Yeah, I don't either.
But anyway, I'm gonna go back to playing Minecraft. So I'll catch y'all next time.
Like, peace.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.